Did you know that some of the most well-known and talented R&B artists you adore are openly gay, but fans and the broader public frequently fail to recognize this? From the iconic Frank Ocean, who openly shared that his first love was a man, to Wynter Gordon, who is also open about her sexual orientation and uses her platform to promote self-expression and authenticity. Here are 20 R&B stars you didn't know that were gay. Number 1. Frank Ocean. Many people consider American singer, songwriter, and record producer Frank Ocean to be one of the most important figures in modern R&B. Ocean, who is well known for his distinctive style that combines parts of alternative, soul, and R&B music, has paved the way for his music and his sexual openness. Ocean's first studio album was praised by critics for its avant-garde sound and intensely intimate lyrics. The song "Thinkin' 'Bout You" became one of his biggest hits, and the album earned a Grammy Award for Best Urban Contemporary Album. Ocean's ability to combine experimental production with reflective lyrics was on full display with Channel Orange. Ocean broke away from the conventional R&B style that characterized his prior work with his sophomore album, Blonde. It was a much-awaited release that was hailed as a masterpiece and demonstrated a more natural and experimental approach to R&B. Beyoncé, Kendrick Lamar, and Andre 3000 were among the other musicians who contributed to Blonde, solidifying his place as a significant figure in both the music and culture industries. Ocean also released Endless, a visual album with a more avant-garde, minimalist look, in addition to Blonde. His commitment to artistry and his wish to deviate from accepted music industry norms were evident in the album, which was first made available on Apple Music as a video stream. When Frank Ocean came out as bisexual in 2012, it generated news across the R&B and hip-hop communities, which are known for their generally conservative attitudes on sexuality. On his Tumblr, he posted an open letter disclosing that a man had been his first love. His openness was hailed for influencing the direction of discussions on sexuality in the music industry. Number 2. Sydney Loren Bennett. In Los Angeles, California, on April 23, 1992, Syd was born. As a member of the Odd Future group, she started her musical career with Earl Sweatshirt, Frank Ocean, Tyler, the Creator, and others. Syd became well known as the producer and DJ for The Internet, a band that fused electronic, hip-hop, neo-soul, and R&B. The group's sound grew to represent a relaxed, avant-garde style of contemporary R&B. Ego Death and Hive Mind, two of the Internet's critically praised albums, solidified the group's status as forerunners in the alternative R&B landscape. A major factor in the band's popularity was Syd's unique voice and production approach. The album's production primarily leans into R&B, electronic, and funk, with Syd's soothing vocals at the forefront. Syd's first solo album, Finn, was a deeply personal endeavor that explored themes of love, heartbreak, and identity. She demonstrated her versatility as an artist by experimenting with many sounds in her solo work. Finn was praised for both her honest lyrical content and its slick yet personal production. She has further established herself as a significant figure in the development of the genre by serving as a producer and helping to influence the sound of other musicians both inside and outside of the Internet. Being openly gay, Syd has led the way in promoting LGBTQ+ representation in the R&B and hip-hop industries. In an interview with The Fader in 2016, before the publication of Ego Death, she came out as a lesbian. Her candor on her sexual orientation has made a strong statement, particularly in fields where LGBTQ+ identities have previously been underrepresented. Number 3. Isaiah Rashad. After starting to rap in his teens, Rashad became well known for his skill and unpolished, genuine approach. In 2013, he relocated to Los Angeles and signed with TDE, rapidly establishing himself in the industry. Till Via Demo, Rashad's first project, was well received by critics when it was published in 2014. Reflecting on identity, self-doubt, and personal issues, the mixtape featured his trademark contemplative lyrics and emotionally charged subjects. With hits like Shot You Down and Webby Flow, You Like, the project earned him a loyal fan base and solidified his place on the TDE roster. When Isaiah's second album, The Sun's Tirade, was released in 2016, it was well received by both reviewers and fans. He explores a wider range of personal issues in the album, such as addiction, mental health, and the difficulties he had while trying to discover inner peace and acceptance of himself. The project received praise for its complex production, soulful jazzy sounds, and profound lyrics. Songs like Park and What's Wrong, with Zakari and Kendrick Lamar, demonstrated his versatility and capacity to write music that has emotional resonance. Rashad took a break from music after The Sun's Tirade in order to address personal matters, such as struggles with addiction and mental health difficulties. There was a sense of expectation for his next effort after he took a few years off from the spotlight. Rashad's much-awaited comeback was marked in 2021 by his third studio album, The House is Burning. SZA, Six Lack, Lil Uzi Vert, and others made cameos on the album. While maintaining his introspective lyrical style, Rashad experimented with his sound with The House is Burning, fusing elements of trap, soul, and even electronic music. Isaiah Rashad gained popularity in 2022 after coming out as bisexual. Rashad is one of the first well-known popular rappers to publicly address his sexual orientation, so this was a significant milestone for the LGBTQ+ and hip-hop communities. His coming out was viewed as a turning point in the representation of LGBTQ+ people and hip-hop, especially in a genre that is known for its heteronormative and historically macho values. Many of Rashad's admirers found great resonance in his decision to come out as gay. It provided much-needed representation and demonstrated that identity and acceptance issues are common, even for well-known people. Number 4. Tamia Marilyn Hill. In 1998, Tamia's self-titled debut album was made available. Its seamless fusion of pop and R&B elements earned it praise from critics and commercial success. You Put a Move on My Heart and So Into You, two of the album's big singles, became huge hits both domestically and abroad. She became a prominent R&B performer thanks to Tamia, whose distinctive singing style and depth of emotion caught the attention of both fans and critics. Tamia continues to put out well-received albums after her debut. Still, a poignant ballad that became one of her signature songs was the popular single from her second album, A New Day. Her 2004 album More featured a more mature sound with songs like Officially Missing You, getting a lot of broadcasting. Throughout her career, Tamia has consistently produced albums that highlight her versatility, with notable releases like Between Friends, Love Life, and Passion Like Fire. Tamia has worked with a number of well-known musicians, including Babyface, J. Rule, and P. Diddy. One of the highlights of her career was working with J. Rule on the popular tune Between Me and You off his album Rule 336. Despite not being openly LGBTQ+, Tamia has advocated for LGBTQ+ rights and is praised by many admirers in the community for her strong voice and support of social problems. In addition, her music is well known for being inclusive and receptive to various forms of love, which appeals greatly to LGBTQ+ admirers. Number 5. Frankie Knuckles. Knuckles is best known for having helped create house music, an electronic dance music style that started in Chicago in the early 1980s. House music combines synths and electronic beats with disco, funk, and soul. Knuckles became well known for his work as the house DJ at the Chicago nightclub, The Warehouse. He started experimenting there with fusing electronic sounds with disco records, which eventually led to the development of the house music genre. Many people consider Frankie Knuckles' 1987 single, Your Love, co-performed with Jamie Principle, to be among the first and most significant songs in the house music genre. Many people consider it to be a turning point in the development of electronic dance music. Frankie's productions frequently combine disco and early electronic music components with expressive melodies, deep bass lines, and soulful voices. His reputation as one of the most in-demand producers and remixers in the industry was further solidified by his remixes for Chaka Khan, Michael Jackson, and Madonna. Among his best-selling remixes were Madonna's Vogue and Michael Jackson's Rock With You. The LGBTQ+ community admired Frankie Knuckles' music, and he was openly gay. He supported LGBTQ+ rights and was well known for being inclusive in both his personal and musical life. Interestingly, the list seems endless. Sit tight as we unveil more gay artists. Number 6. Troye Sivan. Blue Neighborhood, Troye's first studio album, was widely praised when it was released in 2015. Hits like Youth, Wild, and Talk Me Down were among the album's offerings. These songs examined identity, love, and the emotional difficulties of coming out and being young. The album was praised for combining synthpop, electropop, and indie pop with moving lyrics. Fans were moved by Sivan's candor and openness about his experiences, especially those in the LGBTQ+ community. Themes of love, heartbreak, acceptance, and self-discovery are frequently explored in his songs. One example of this is the song Heaven from his 2018 album Bloom, which explores the complex nature of gay love and the sensation of being torn between one's own independence and society's expectations. Troye Sivan, an outspoken gay artist, has been outspoken about his experiences and the difficulties he has had accepting his sexuality. He told his fans his tale in a YouTube video after he came out publicly in 2013. Because of his honesty, he has paved the way for LGBTQ+ visibility in popular music. He has engaged with a number of groups to promote LGBTQ+ youngsters and has been outspoken in his support of equality, same-sex marriage, and mental health awareness. Number 7. Luther Vandross. American singer, songwriter, and record producer. Luther Vandross is well known for his romantic ballads and his powerful, seductive voice. With a career spanning several decades, Luther Vandross is widely considered one of the best R&B singers of all time, and his music continues to influence artists across a variety of genres. He won multiple accolades, including multiple Grammy Awards, for his emotional depth and deep, soulful vocals. Luther Vandross's breakthrough occurred in 1981 when his first solo album, Never Too Much, was released. His title single, Never Too Much, became an immediate hit and is still one of his best-known tunes. His reputation as a leading vocalist in R&B and soul music was cemented by the album. A series of successes such as Sugar and Spice, I Didn't Mean to Make You Cry, and Don't You Know That? Followed the album's success. His romantic themes and silky vocals struck a chord with listeners, contributing to the definition of the quiet storm genre. Luther Vandross kept his personal life very quiet, and for a large portion of his career, people speculated about his sexual orientation. Throughout his life, he kept his sexual orientation a secret. However, Vandross was cited as saying, "I've had relationships with women, I've had relationships with men," in an Oprah Winfrey interview in 2003. I firmly believe in the transformative power of love. Number 8. Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin launched his solo career in 1991 with the publication of his debut album of the same name. But it was Vuelve, his fifth album, that made him a global celebrity. The smash single Livin' La Vida Loca from the album became an enormous worldwide hit. Livin' La Vida Loca is regarded as one of the most recognizable pop songs of the late 1990s and peaked at the top of several national charts. The album's economic success cemented Ricky Martin's status as a worldwide pop phenomenon. With hits like She Bangs and Nobody Wants to Be Lonely, a duet with Christina Aguilera, Ricky Martin continued to put out successful albums after the breakthrough of Vuelve, including Ricky Martin and Sound Loaded. He became one of the most well-known Latin musicians in the world by fusing Latin pop, dance, and world music. He gained millions of admirers worldwide thanks to his charisma, passionate performances, and commitment to his art. After years of rumors, Ricky Martin finally came out as gay in 2010 with a heartfelt letter posted on his website. He disclosed that he made the decision to come out because he wanted to set an example for others and live his truth. He became one of the most well-known openly homosexual Latin stars, and his coming out was regarded as a significant event for the LGBTQ+ community, as well as the Latin music industry. Since coming out, Ricky has been a vocal supporter of LGBTQ+ visibility and rights, utilizing his position to spread the word about topics like equal rights, HIV, AIDS, and same-sex marriage. Next up is another R&B star who gained widespread recognition for his powerful portrayal of a young gay man in the music industry. Number 9. Jussie Smollett. On June 21, 1982, Jussie Smollett was born in Santa Rosa, California, into a family with deep connections to the entertainment sector. His mother, Janet Smollett, is a former production director, and his father is Joel Smollett. Jussie was raised together with his siblings, many of whom work in entertainment. Some of My Music, his debut album, was released when he was on Empire. R&B and soul were mixed together on the record, and Smollett's vocal skills were on full display. However, the controversies surrounding his personal life overshadowed the album's popularity. After reporting to the police that he had been the victim of a hate crime in Chicago in January 2019, Jussie Smollett found himself in the center of a scandal. He said that in the early morning hours, 2 males had attacked him, tying a noose around his neck, covering him in bleach, and yelling homophobic and racial epithets. But as the inquiry progressed, the narrative started to fall apart. According to the Chicago police, Smollett himself seemed to have planned the incident. Smollett was charged with planning the assault in order to attract attention and publicity. He was taken into custody and accused of making a fraudulent police complaint in February 2019. Due to the strong outrage caused by the scandal, Smollett was removed from the last episodes of Empire. Although the public was skeptical of the move, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office controversially dropped the charges against him in March 2019. Openly gay, Jussie Smollett has been a strong supporter of racial equality and LGBTQ+ rights. He has advocated on behalf of oppressed populations, LGBTQ+ rights, institutional racism, and other social justice concerns using his platform. Number 10. Troye Sivan. When Troye was just 13 years old, he released his first EP, Troye Sivan, in 2008. Despite being self-released, the EP demonstrated his potential as a budding musician with a distinctive sound. With the release of his second EP, June Haverly, in 2012, Troye took a more substantial musical leap and achieved his first notable breakthrough. The release of Troye Sivan's first studio album, Blue Neighborhood, was widely praised. With its blend of techno-pop, poignant lyrics, and Sivan's angelic vocals, the album left a lasting impression on the music industry. Songs like Wild, Talk Me Down, and Youth tackled themes of vulnerability, love, and self-acceptance, and became anthems for young audiences, especially in the LGBTQ+ community. The album was acclaimed for its emotional depth, with Troye's lyrics portraying the intricacies of relationships, identity, and growing up. Youth became a breakthrough smash. He gained a worldwide following because of the record, with a more sophisticated sound that combined parts of pop, indie, and electronic music. Troye's second studio album, Bloom, signaled a more mature path for his music. Songs like My, The Good Side and Bloom were widely praised, and it was a critical and financial triumph. Through honest and daring examinations of sexuality and self-identity, Troye candidly addressed issues of LGBTQ+ love, relationships, and the difficulties of growing up gay on the album. With its several award nominations, Bloom solidified Troye's position as a major player in modern pop music. Number 11. George Michael. George demonstrated an early interest in music, and in the early 1980s, he and his schoolmate Andrew Ridgeley established the band Wham after attending a number of different schools. Wham gained popularity fast because of their catchy pop songs and lively, enthusiastic manner. With their first album, Fantastic, and subsequent Make It Big, Wham became an international hit. Songs like Last Christmas, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, and Careless Whisper became hits all over the world. One of the iconic songs of the 1980s was Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, while Michael's hallmark tune, Careless Whisper, is renowned for its catchy melody and sultry saxophone riff. George Michael started a very prosperous solo career after Wham broke up in 1986. Faith, his first solo album, was a huge commercial success. Hits including Faith, Father Figure, and I Want Your Sex were released from the album. Faith ended up being one of the 1980s best-selling albums. Michael redefined the sound of mainstream pop music with his sultry vocals, enticing melodies, and bold approach to fusing pop with R&B and soul. More mature topics like love, sexuality, and independence were also tackled in his music. The record solidified his status as one of the decade's most important pop stars and earned multiple Grammy Awards. There was always conjecture regarding George Michael's sexual orientation, but in 1998, following his arrest for engaging in a lewd act in a public toilet, Michael came out as gay. In addition to ending years of rumors, this moment made George Michael one of the first well-known pop stars to publicly and unreservedly come out. He acknowledged in his statement the significance of coming out as well as the ways in which his identity and personal life had impacted his music. George Michael's coming out decision was hailed as a courageous and significant turning point for LGBTQ+ visibility in the entertainment sector. Next person to consider is number 12, Mykki Blanco. The beginning of Mykki Blanco's music career was in the early 2010s. Their earliest mixtapes, such as Mykki Blanco and the Mutant Angels, showcased their raw, experimental, and boundary-pushing style, which combined electronic, punk, and hip-hop music. The self-released 2013 album Cosmic Angel, The Illuminati Prince, SS, marked the debut of Blanco's fusion of experimental sounds and alternative rap. In keeping with Blanco's quest for self-awareness, the album examined issues of identity, sexuality, and self-expression. Mykki's music as a queer artist gave LGBTQ+ people a chance to see themselves reflected in hip-hop, a medium that has historically been closed off to LGBTQ+ inclusion. Hard-hitting lyrics are frequently combined with avant-garde images and performances in Blanco's work, which questions conventional hip-hop masculinity. Stereotypes about masculinity, femininity, and gender performance are frequently challenged by their music, which frequently pushes the limits of sexual expression. Homophobia, transphobia, and the underrepresentation of LGBTQ+ individuals in popular hip-hop culture are all addressed in Blanco's work. Beyond their musical endeavors, Blanco has been active in public efforts to promote the mental health of queer people of color, support transgender individuals, and increase awareness of HIV/AIDS prevention. Number 13, Montero Hill. In 2018, Lil Nas X's breakthrough single, Old Town Road, launched him to international prominence. Hip-hop and country components were blended in the song, which became popular on sites like TikTok and eventually reached the top of the charts. Old Town Road generated a controversy about musical genre limits and set several milestones, including a record-breaking 19 weeks at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. Its catchy hook, appeal to a variety of musical styles, and social media accessibility all contributed to the song's popularity. Lil Nas X attracted the attention of popular fans with his humorous and experimental approach to genre-defying music. In a passionate tweet to his followers during Pride Month, in June 2019, Lil Nas X came out as gay. He wrote, "Some of you already know, some of you don't care, and some of you aren't going to find out anymore. However, I want you all to pay great attention to C7 Osier before the end of this month. Because it took place in the major hip-hop and country music industries, which are both historically dominated by heteronormative and frequently homophobic sentiments, his coming out was monumental. Many people hailed Lil Nas X's coming out as a brave move, and he has since emerged as a leading voice for LGBTQ+ rights, especially for young queer people of color." Number 14. Khalif Diouf. L1F's music combines electronic, experimental, and hip-hop elements. His rap style frequently defies gender stereotypes and incorporates avant-garde production, unusual rhythms, and quirky flows. Themes of self-expression, LGBT identity, and defying social norms are frequently present in his art. He regularly addresses the complexities of sexual identity in his lyrics and imagery, as well as hip-hop's conservative and popular viewpoints. L1F originally became well-known in 2012 thanks to his breakthrough single, Woot, which perfectly captured his distinct sound with its catchy hook and avant-garde imagery. His first significant endeavor was the 2012 release of the Dark York mixtape, which cemented his position in the underground rap industry. Positive reviews were given to the mixtape because of its experimental production and lyrical examination of queerness in hip-hop. After the success of Dark York, L1F worked with artists such as Shabazz Palaces, Booty, and Sid from the internet to further establish a strong presence in the underground hip-hop scene. A new generation of hip-hop artists who aren't scared to question conventional ideas of masculinity, sexuality, and self-expression are still motivated by L1F's work. L1F has encountered both support and criticism in industry for being an outspoken homosexual artist, but he has never wavered in his resolve to be unabashedly queer and to question the conventional machismo of hip-hop. Number 15. Raasan Patterson. In 1997, Raasan Patterson's self-titled debut solo album was released following his departure from Shay. The album solidified him as a strong solo musician and received favorable reviews for its seamless fusion of traditional R&B with modern influences. Raasan Patterson included songs like I Can't Stay and Don't Let Go that demonstrated his vocal range and ability to blend modern R&B with soul. Raasan Patterson is renowned for both his ability to express intense emotion in his music and his velvety, beautiful voice. His music frequently creates a seductive and private ambiance by fusing traditional R&B with jazz and soul elements. Many of Patterson's songs have a profoundly emotional impact on listeners, and his music has explored themes of love, relationships, and personal development throughout his career. Being openly homosexual, Raasan Patterson's identity has been a significant part of his music, although he has frequently chosen to make his sexuality less of the main emphasis of his work and instead concentrate on the universal themes of love and relationships. The LGBTQ+ community has embraced his music, and his beautiful voice and silky ballads have a profound impact on fans who identify with his candid and sincere portrayals of intimacy and love. Number 16. Wynter Gordon. Wynter Gordon's breakthrough came in 2009 when she and David Guetta worked together on the worldwide hit song Sexy Bitch, which featured Akon. She quickly gained recognition for her unique voice and songwriting skills, and the dance music industry began to seek her out as a partner. Gordon's first single, Dirty Talk peaked at #1 on the Billboard Dance Club Songs list in 2010. She gained popularity in the pop and electronic dance genres as a result of its huge success on the club music scene. In 2011, Wynter Gordon's first CD, With the Music I Die, was made available. Her varied style was on full display with the album, which combined house, dance pop, and electro music with lyrics that were emotionally intense. Her solo career was viewed as having a strong basis, and it was praised for its unadulterated, soulful vocals. Other tunes like Taking Me Over and Believer, which also made an impression on the dance music charts, followed the album's debut hit, Dirty Talk. As she wrote more songs for her own music and other musicians, her skill as a songwriter grew more apparent. Gordon was well known not only for her popularity, but also for her ability to create catchy yet profound music. Wynter Gordon has made no secret of the fact that she is bisexual. She has advocated for LGBTQ+ representation and rights, and has spoken out about her sexual orientation in interviews. Although she doesn't always use a label to describe herself, she has advocated for the LGBTQ+ community and utilized her position to support inclusion and self-expression. Number 17. Chelly Wright. Chelly Wright began singing and performing at an early age while growing up in Kansas. In the early 1990s, she relocated to Nashville in order to pursue a career in country music. She released her first album, Shooter, in 1994 after signing with Polydor Records. While it received considerable praise, it didn't help her become well known. After her second album, Let Me In, was released in the late 1990s, Wright's career took off. Her breakthrough album, Single White Female, followed. Her first big songs, such as Shut Up and Drive and Single White Female, were featured on the album and helped launch her career in country music. Some of her greatest songs, such as I'm Not in Love with You and The Baddest Girl in Town, were featured on her 2005 album, The Metropolitan Hotel, which cemented her status as a major force in country music. Chelly Wright gained recognition throughout the years for writing songs that were sympathetic and emotional, frequently based on her own experiences. Love, heartbreak, and introspection were common topics in her songs. Chelly Wright is one of the first well-known country music artists to come out as homosexual in public, making headlines in 2010. She published a memoir called Like Me, Confessions of a Heartland Country Singer, and disclosed her sexual orientation in an emotional interview with People magazine. For the country music industry, which has historically been more closed off to LGBTQ+ representation, this was a historic occasion. Reactions to Wright coming out were not entirely uniform, although many in the country music industry and fan base applauded her for her courage. Others found her admission difficult to accept. In spite of this, Chelly Wright paved the way for LGBTQ+ visibility in country music. Number 18. Uzo Emenike. Born in Nigeria, Mek was raised in London. Early on, his musical abilities were evident, and in his teens he began writing and recording songs. He helped build his profile in the industry by penning songs for British musicians as a result of his early interest in songwriting and production. Emenike was already collaborating with a variety of artists and contributing to pop, R&B, and dance music songs by the time he was in his late teens. He gained popularity fast, thanks to his abilities as a producer and vocalist. Eminike's breakthrough came in the early 2000s and 10s. He initially gained recognition for his collaborations with other artists, including co-writing and providing backing vocals on hits such as Ready for Your Love by Gorgon City. His own music began to garner attention with the release of singles like Wicked Heart and The Rhythm. Emenike debuted with the song Every Little Word in 2014, demonstrating his soft vocals and ability to fuse R&B and modern pop. He started his solo career with this. Being openly gay, Emenike frequently explores themes of love, desire, and self-expression in his songs. He has emerged as a leading voice for representation and visibility in the pop and R&B industries as one of the few openly LGBTQ+ performers in these genres. Number 19. Brandi Carlile. Growing up in Ravenna, Washington, Brandi Carlile was introduced to music at a young age by her family, especially her father, who played guitar and sang. Inspired by musicians such as Emmylou Harris, Johnny Cash, and Joni Mitchell, Carlile started performing at an early age and developed her musical skills. The deep, rich voice of Brandi Carlile and her ability to fuse modern rock sensibilities with folk and Americana were on full display in her debut album, Brandi Carlile. The album received favorable reviews and started to grow her fan base, even if it didn't originally chart well. But it wasn't until her second album, The Story, that Carlile really became well known. The title track, The Story from the album, which was widely praised by critics, became one of her signature songs. Carlile's emotional performance and the song's strong lyrics cemented her as a performer with a distinctive and captivating voice. Brandi Carlile, a well-known member of the LGBTQ+ community, is openly lesbian. Since her public coming out in 2002, she has been a vocal supporter of LGBTQ+ visibility and rights. Carlile has discussed how being a queer woman has impacted her music and has fought to dismantle obstacles for LGBTQ+ musicians, particularly in genres with little LGBTQ+ presence, such as country and Americana. The last artist on our list is no other than Number 20. Billy Porter. Billy Porter is well known for his powerful, deep voice in addition to his acting prowess. He has put out a number of CDs throughout the years, and his music ranges from pop to jazz and R&B. He is a well-known vocalist who has become well-known for his ability to blend many musical genres. His first album was Billy Porter, which combined pop, R&B, and soul elements. Despite his early lack of widespread success in music, Porter continued to be a prominent person in the music industry and performed live, earning praise for his vocal prowess. Billy Porter has been an outspoken supporter of LGBTQ+ rights and issues and is openly gay. Throughout his career, Porter has advocated for mental health awareness and LGBTQ+ representation, especially for Black queer individuals in the entertainment sector. Porter discussed the difficulties he encountered as a homosexual Black man growing up, such as homophobia, rejection from family, and internalized shame in his memoir, Unprotected. His openness on these subjects has struck a chord with many, especially young LGBTQ+ people who look up to his success and openness. To uncover more intriguing stories among Hollywood celebrities, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.